What's going on, guys? It's Zero bringing you another Call of Duty Ghost gameplay video. We're going to be playing TDM on Sovereign, and I do end up dropping a KEM, but it gets kind of campy a little bit towards the middle because I was on a good streak, and I've died off of KEMs so many times on this map by the enemy spawning right behind me and then coming up and just shooting me with me having zero chance to react. So I just kind of ran around in the spawn like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to make sure that they didn't spawn behind me, or trying to at least, have a chance against them if they did. But that's really not important. I mean, KEM gameplays are actually kind of getting boring for me to watch, and if they're getting boring for me to watch, then they're probably getting boring for you guys to watch as well. The reason I made this video is that I ended up getting an next-gen console. I did end up getting a PS4. Now, before people start calling me traitors, I will be getting an Xbox One eventually. It'll probably just have to wait for a couple months. But I do still have my 360, so I'm not completely giving up on Microsoft or completely giving up on Xbox. I just really wanted a PS4 this generation. I mean, ever since the specs came out, and since the consoles kind of divulged their, I guess you could say, overarching theme for the console, the PlayStation 4 to me made more sense. The PlayStation 4 was, supposedly the gamer's console. This is what you would play when all you want is games. PlayStation 4 would do games better than the Xbox One. At least that's how it was marketed. The Xbox One is trying to be your all-in-one entertainment solution, and I just don't need that. I mean, I use the internet for everything. If I want to watch a TV show, I watch it on the internet. If I want to rent a movie, I rent it from the internet. So I don't even have a cable subscription. The only thing I have is an internet subscription. So all the Xbox One's cool TV features, to me, were useless. Plus the fact that it had a less powerful processor, a less powerful graphics processor, and the PS4 just really seemed to position itself as the gaming system this time around, and since that's what I wanted as a game system, then it made the most sense to me. Now, these things were impossible to find. Like, I signed up for like 3 separate stock trackers for the PS4. Sites that you would tell them what you're looking for, and then they would text you when they found them available online. And it would send me texts quite often, like Amazon has one, or Meijer has one, or Best Buy has one. And every time I would go to try to order it, somebody would always beat me to it. So it just got a little bit frustrating after a few days of trying that. And then I was like, well, I'll just call all the stores around here, because I live in an area where there's like 5 separate cities, but they're all within 15 minutes of each other. Like Parkersburg and Vienna in West Virginia are literally like the Parkersburg city limits end and the Vienna city limits begin. So I mean, that's just basically just one city. Then there's Williamstown, which is a 10-minute drive up the interstate. Right across the river is Belpre, where I live now, and then a 10-minute drive on the interstate from Belpre is Marietta. So I called all the Walmarts, all of the Kmarts, I called Sam's Club, I called everywhere around here that sells electronics, and nobody had any PS4s then, which I was kind of expecting, because if they're not available online, then my podunk Walmart's not going to have one. But after I called both GameStops in the area, I was at work at the time, and my buddy said, hey, they've got a GameStop up in Marietta, why don't you give them a call? So, I called them, and I didn't want to get my hopes up because I really didn't think that they'd have any. And the guy told me that, when I asked if they had any PS4s in stock by chance, or if not, when they knew they were going to get one, and he said that, yeah, we have a refurbished one right now. And I was like, well, what do you mean refurbished? What was wrong with it? He's like, oh, no, nothing was wrong with it. The guy had gotten it and then, decided he would want an Xbox One instead, so he came and traded it in for store credit. And I was like, well, what condition is it in? He's like, well, it's brand new. I mean, all of the packaging, he said that in order to test it out, to like power it up, they had to open the plastic on the power cable. So, I mean, the console had never been used, so I basically got a brand new console. It just didn't come in the PS4 box. But I was so thrilled to get that, and I was really lucky even. I was at work, like I said, so I called my girlfriend and asked her, do you love me? Of course she says yes. And I was like, well, good, you can prove it. Go to Marietta and grab me a PS4. So she went up, dropped everything she was doing, and went and got it for me. And God bless her, she said she almost peed herself trying to get it because she had to pee before she left, but I sounded like it was, such an emergency that she just jumped and went as soon as I called her. And it was even lucky that she got it. You know, I called her immediately after I got off the phone with them. And when she got there, the guy that came in right behind her was there to buy it. And she said that they'd received like a couple phone calls asking if they had any in while she was there. So, you know, guy who was in line behind my girlfriend at GameStop, I'm really sorry that you didn't get your PS4 because I feel your pain. But at the same time, you know, better you than me. So I've been playing the PS4 lately, and so far I'm digging it. I mean, I'm not crazy about the controller, but that's probably because I've got 10 plus years now on the Microsoft controller. So it's just getting used to it is a little bit harder than I thought it was. You know, I'm so used to loose thumbsticks now playing with Microsoft controllers, and they lose their resistance and tension fairly quickly. So I'm hoping that this does as well, that this PlayStation controller does as well, because this feels like it has more resistance than the Microsoft controllers ever had. And it feels like I have to fight the controller. Like, my controllers now, like especially my Razer Onzo, which I use the majority of the time since I broke my scuff, like that controller to me feels perfect. I mean, the stick has like a bare minimum of resistance, just enough to keep it from flopping around, but it's very easy to move. I'm very used to it. I'm so used to the thumb placement for my movement, which is my biggest problem with the PS4 controller, is moving. Like with the Xbox controller, it just feels like you push your thumb forward to move, but where the PlayStation controller, where the thumbsticks is, it feels like I have to push my thumb like up and to the left to move, if that makes sense. And I'm constantly hitting the wrong direction for the D-pad, but I am loving the PS4 so far. I just hope to God that they hurry up and remove the HDCP copyright protection so that I can actually start recording gameplay with my Elgato. I can I can stream to Twitch right now, but it doesn't archive it, so that's supposed to be fixed too. Till next time, this is Zero saying, catch you on the flip side.